I think this would work great for a landscaper. You put this in there, lock it down. It's basically a digital level. It is expensive, but it will pay for itself with not having to have a second guy on some of these estimates.
Hey, what's going on? Barnaby here. So you want to know more about the Bosch laser distance measuring system. I call it a system because it's really two components, and we're going to get into that. But first of all, let me tell you that this laser distance measurer component was capable of measuring out to 265 feet all the way down to 2 inches, with a degree of accuracy of plus or minus a 1/16 of an inch. And then what you can do with this is snap it inside this level base, and then this becomes a digital level. And what we like to do with tools like this is put them into the hands of guys like Mark and have you go forth into your workplace and use it for what it's intended for. And I'm really interested in having you roll back the hands of time and tell me about the performance, the design, the quality, and the value. But first of all, what do you do for a paycheck?
I'm a remodeler. I do kitchens, basements, bathrooms, decks.
Okay, so what would this be good for in that world?
What this would be great for is doing estimates, and that's what I used it for.
Okay, so it's a time saver?
Great time saver, and not only that, I don't have to have a second person on the other end of my tape measure with me on some of these estimates.
Okay, so how did it work for you? That's the bottom line. Out of the box, how did it go?
Well, out of the box didn't go so well. I actually had to sit and study the directions for maybe 20, 30 minutes before I could get up and running with it.
That's a big moment in man world, isn't it? Your shoulders slumped. You said, I had to read the manual. But it's a computer, right?
Yeah, there is so many functions on here. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay, well, you know what? For the first time in Tool Select history, I am going to actually consult notes about this because you open up that box. This thing will figure out the length, the area, the volume, addition, subtraction, timer, wall area, continuous measurement, indirect height measurement, combined indirect height, indirect length, and angle. That is a lot of stuff. So no shame in saying you had to study a book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this thing, I mean, it pretty much does it all, though.
Okay, and what happens when you snap it into the base right here? What does that get you?
Well, this is really nice. I think this would work great for a landscaper. You put this in there, lock it down. It's basically a digital level, and you can find slope now.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk then about the design features on it. I mean, we rattled off all of the functions. You used the area. Did you use any of the other ones?
I played around with slope a little bit, figuring out a deck.
Yep.
I did wall area. I did. I can actually stand back from a wall and move backwards to a point I need to be, and it'll give me that continuous measurement.
Okay. So it replaces a tape.
Exactly.
All right. So then, as far as the user-friendliness, the interface is the big thing with any electronics. That's a pretty small screen. Is it readable?
It's very readable. You've got it'll do your last 3 measurements here, or the 3 measurements on what you're working on. It'll give you a little diagram. It'll actually show you where to measure at.
Oh, okay.
It'll tell you where you're measuring at from the tool. I mean, it just gives you everything you need.
Yeah, pop it out of there for a second.
Sure.
Okay. And what about if you're going into a corner? I've seen some of these laser distance measurers where it actually will take you out of the corner and forward.
Well, what's really nice about this is it has this little pin that pops out, and you can stick that in the corner where normally the back of your unit wouldn't fit in the corner. So that, and then it will actually read from that point.
Okay. And so what about, because it is an electronic device and it does have a remote charger, if you will, what about the longevity of the battery? Did it run dry on you?
Well, I've been using this for the last couple weeks, and when I got it, it was actually had like 1 bar left.
Yeah.
I haven't charged it since.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Let's then talk about the quality of it, because it's a high-tech electronic device. It's got a level which, you got the 2 things you have to really take care of. You can't be dropping them. Do you think it's going to hold up over time? I
do think this is going to hold up. That being said, you don't want to drop this. This is like dropping your cell phone. It's built for the work environment, but it's not built to take a beating, and that would be obvious with any electronic device.
Okay, so you don't have any concerns about it if you take care.
Exactly.
All right. Well, value proposition time. Is it a tool that you would recommend that somebody buy?
I would recommend it. That being said, it is expensive, but it will pay for itself with not having to have a second guy on some of these estimates.
Okay, and it's a time saver in a lot of other calculations probably, as you're just trying to figure out things like indirect height where there might be a wall in the way.
Yeah, this thing does it all.
Now, I'll tell you what, I'm old enough where I almost always want to say, it's like magic, but it's a computer after all, right? And so, for that, we're all about getting you the real stats from real people to make it real easy to figure out which tool is right for you.